38 minutes after 7. Tshwane FM 93.6. It is the station that continues to rock you most. It is songs of Ndata Rex Rabani in the background. We are, achieving you all the best in terms of the kind of work that you are doing. But yeah, man, we're joined as well by Ndati Kiamu Masike. He's all the way from Coast Prince to speak to us at this point in time. So Kiamu does a lot of community work and he's going to be talking to us about that. Kiamu, how are you, my brother?
I'm well, and how are you?
I'm great, man. Can I Kim Foundation is on corner
Mokete Foundation.
Mokete Foundation. Tell us about the work you guys were doing during this COVID-19. I know that you've done a lot of things. It's too many for one to remember, but just take us through.
Yeah, we've been working for the past 7 months. I think we've been addressing the problem of food insecurity within the community of Guatemala and other communities in Wadikuruleni. And up till this far, I can attest that the organization has managed to serve more than 3,000 families within Ekurhuleni, specifically being the elderly, families with child-headed home families, and persons with disabilities.
How did you identify these recipients?
Yeah, we've been working with community builders, public officials, the members of the CPS, the CPF, and a few people that are, involved in the community, Kibona, who have been assisting us with identifying these families because on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So our approach was to, build relationships with these families, Rescatla as an organization that's going to come and just give food and live because of COVID-19 and all of that.
Let's speak about the sustainability of the project. How are you guys sustaining the longevity of this project?
Yeah, we had to create a sustainable system which started October, and which is a sit and dine soup kitchen, meaning that we saw it's wrong for us to give food on an occasion, meaning that on a project-based date, already 15 we're going to serve plus minus 200 people or 100 people. So we then said no. Let us try to create a sustainable system that's going to keep these groups of people that we've identified fed on a weekly basis. So we've started October, the 1st of October, the first week of October, meaning that we've been using the very same criteria, seeing that on a weekly basis we'll try to assist 200 families. So we've been doing that, and the 28 we're having our last project of the year. So that happened, of course, after initiatives that we've been having from April. We started working April immediately after the lockdown was announced by the president. We started working with Guatemala. A lot of people gave us calls to say, can you kindly come and assist us? So yeah, we've been working, and one thing I can say is that it is not only the elderly only. We are going to assist also ECT centers in the community, early childhood development centers, because that's also been our main target group, because kids go to school hungry and they come back, there's nothing on the fridge.
There's a big problem of stigma in communities where people feel, I don't want to be seen. And how are you guys managing that to make sure that the identities of these individual or this group of people that you guys have identified remains dignified?
Yeah, we like I said, we are working with community builders, community builders that are very close to these people.
So they're providing guidance and
community builders that are very close to these sensitive issues that the commuters are facing in the community.
Correct.
So I think that guides us, because we are strict in our criteria. We are strict in our projects. The preparations of the projects, we are very strict. You know how this COVID thing came. People wanted to everyone wanted to become beneficiaries of this thing. So we had to devise a very strict criteria of saying the people that need to be the first priorities of the beneficiaries needs to be Batubabahood, which is Abokoko, Abomkulu, persons with disabilities, and all of those people. So how are we managing this thing is that we have a record, we have a database under our organization where even on a weekly basis we just call these people just to check up on them, check how are they coping, how are they handling, what other problems and other provocations are they facing And we're also trying to see how can we then best assist them way beyond food insecurity, because people in the community are facing deeper problems than food insecurity, my brother. So yeah,
16 days of activism against women and children. What's the plan for the Kiamo M Foundation? What do you guys have planned, and what is really the goal for this year?
Yeah, we got an invitation from an orphanage social movie. We are going to spend our Christmas there, actually. Okay. So we had nothing planned for these 16 days, but like I said, these projects are on. We just said no, we're about to cut it down till the end of November. But these people keep on calling us. These people keep on saying, "Can you kindly assist us?" So I think we'll be spending our Christmas more. It's an orphanage. I'm still in contact with the facilitator that place as to how we are going to manage those logistics and so forth. But yeah, I think we'll be spending our Christmas with the vulnerable kids out there.
Young men are listening to you now on this 16 days of activism. What is the one thing that will satisfy you as I let you go?
Yeah, I always tell young people to identify their roles in the community. I always tell young people to be conscious of the spaces in which they come from, meaning that as Black people, I think we all come from, unique backgrounds that, has shaped us differently.
Correct.
I've been raised by a single parent, and maybe Ausliana, she's been raised by a single parent, which makes us a relative in our situations and our problems. So I think that should be a guide, as a young person living in the 21st century. I think you should use that as one of the motives to, say that I want to have a prosperous future, but this is how I want it to be, shaped, meaning that you are taking a look from where you're coming from, looking at the future and living at the present.
Interesting. 45 after 7. Kiamo Masike. He hails all the way from Guatemala in the east of Johannesburg. He's also a footballer. He has been playing for Supersport. 0123849336. We're going to move now to Bra Oscar Rufaro to speak to us about their initiative that is coming through not so long, a bribe for gentlemen. Tshwane FM 93.6. After this quick break, we speak to Oscar.
Call us now, 012-382-4936. That's 012-382-4936.
I need to all of you here, you can talk right.
I'm naming someone else.
I need to
But one also look at the you can just wait there because of you want to
you guys came back from your school trip or outing, all you someone no one ever baby signing signs about the 100 school children in the past accident.
How are you? Sapsha, Pukran Fit.
When we
Love me, love me. Did you miss me? Yeah. So what did you do? I don't like when you're crying. Please don't cry. What did you eat yesterday?
And you guys don't understand, I'll break it down even further.
Which name are you using?
I need to know that no. 2 little birds. That was us.
Mosquito?
But
That's my brother.
everyone can sing, but the pronunciation will tell you what kind of a school you went to. How's what the truth? Listen.
Well, no, I knew that going to be a phone call. 47 after 7 o'clock. It is Tshwane FM 93.6, and that's exactly where we are. At this point in time, we're joined by Mr. Oscar Rufaro. He's a pastor. He used to be a youth pastor. He's no longer a youth pastor. He's now a pastor of, let me just check the correct name of his church. Now it's the Christ International Revival Center. He's the founding. If I'm wrong, he must accept it. He's the founding pastor there and senior pastor. He's the visionary leader there. He's going to talk to us about the men's bride chat that is coming through on Saturday, the 5th of December at 12 noon, to speak to us about that, and also in relation to the 16 days of activism against women and children abuse in our society. Oscar, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, my brother. Good evening to the listeners. It's really, really exciting to be with you tonight.
Did I speak lies? Are you not the senior pastor of the Christ International Revival?
No, you said it correctly.
Okay.
That's the correct. Everything you said is correct.
Okay. Yeah. I don't normally speak lies, man. Yeah.
That's true.
Let's speak about the men's bride that is happening. Tell us about the vision behind it.
Great. And I'm so excited to talk about this on this platform because this is where it was birthed.
Correct.
If listeners can recall very well, somewhere around level 5, level 4 of lockdown, we did quite a lot of programs, on Tshwane FM. Some of the programs we're doing them via Zoom, but we got to a time where we got so committed to dealing with men issues. I think August was one of the key months that we really focused on that. And out of that, we then discovered, so many things are going on with men, and we don't have sufficient platforms to talk.
Yeah.
Most of the things that you hear, it's women empowerment is going on and on, but there's lesser conversations with men. And at the same time, when we look at the current situations of GBV, we seem to find many men at fault. And instead of just, pointing fingers, why can't we deal with the issues from the roots? So that's how we the men's bride chat. So this is not a gathering to have a guest speaker, a guest conference speaker, because that's normally the standard thing. When we say men, let's come together and let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's chill, we having meat and drinks, and let's talk. Let it be a platform that men can, pour their hearts, seek advice, and share ideas from marriage to economic issues. We be able to converse even on religious matters. So that's basically the vision that we have. And one other part is that this is not a once-off event. This is something that's going to go on. Going into next year, we will have sessions where we will say a father must bring his son. Another session will say bring your daughter. And then we will be having conversations that address all those aspects, that surround us as men.
I'm joined by a lady here. She's a pioneer in the motor industry. Her name is Selebo. Selebo, how are you? And thank you so much once again for being with us. And I often the time we speak about conversations they involve ambassador, and we don't speak about women really taking up opportunities. And I like the fact that you're in the motor industry where a lot of women don't like being there. Just tell us about your experience being in that space and what exactly does it mean to you.
Hi, Mokete. Thank you very much. I'd start by saying it's very challenging for a woman to be in the motor industry because firstly, it's an industry where it was meant for only guys. So being in the motor industry now as a woman, it's a big challenge, but we're striving to break that.
Interesting.
Yes.
And do you feel that because Oscar, I'm going to that point. Do you remember how we also emphasized, and I like Guillermo that is here, so we also emphasized how when a boy becomes a man, the expectations are that he must be much more sober, much more easy. Yet when he was still a young boy, he's taught how to be strong, rough, and tumble. Yet at a mature age, we become amazed at why is this one being so strong, defensive. I like making this example that when we're young boys playing, if Guillermo comes back crying, they're going to send him back and say, don't be a crybaby here, go and fight for yourself. Yet if it's Selebo for coming back, they'll say, no, don't worry, my daughter Daddy is going to go and sort them out, right? So Selebo grows up knowing that Daddy, a man, must go and solve physical problems. But I, as a boy, I'm taught that physical problems are not solved through communication or whatever the case may be. I must go and beat as well. So it goes back to that, to say, how do we institutionalize? And so as women as well. I mean, you're speaking about how you guys are not necessarily geared into taking up these opportunities, and maybe it's also how we are institutionalized or how we are raised as young women. What do you think needs to change in that space, in your perspective?
We just need more young women to join the motor industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Oscar.
Yes, that's very, very key thing to discussion, and I think that's part of our conversation on the 5th as well. And it goes back to what we normally say. Remember, our biggest battle is culture. Our biggest that's our biggest battle. Culture is something that has been done over and over, and something that has been believed to be true. But now we sit back and we see how certain cultures, a certain way of doing things, has become, a hindrance to our society today. So I think we're more in a space of relearning things. I think one of the things that from our side, what we want to do with men is let's relearn certain things. Let's revisit certain things that we were told they are supposed to be done like this. Can we question them? Can we relearn and see what is it that will work for this generation? We were given a very practical example. And I'm reminded, I think I was in grade 6. I was in a fight, and it was not supposed to be a fight, It's just that the other said it was a miscommunication, but we ended up in a fight. And I wanted to be a peacemaker. I didn't want to hit this guy back. But when I got home, I was literally told, why didn't you fight back? You have to fight back. So at the end of the day, you will grow up with this mentality of saying, if somebody comes, I have to fight back. Even if it's something that you need to talk over, you will end up using your hands. And you will go the same attitude. Talk of marriage, talk with dealing with your, our female sisters or wives. You find yourself now using that mentality because it's not safe to do it with men only.
Yeah.
It's safe. You are told, as a man, you have to be strong. As a man, you can't cry. As a man. So at the end of the day, you will use that in the wrong space.
It's even worse.
To be calm,
it's even worse when it comes to women because you are told that a woman cannot speak to you in a certain way. Wow, tell that is why if you look at the bulk of men that kill women, it's men who he found the woman cheating. So the justification is that because she was cheating, you must kill her. But when you are cheating, who killed you?
Exactly. So, and that's another thing. I've heard people saying women can forgive if a man cheats, but men can't forgive if a woman cheats. These are all these things that we deal with. So we say the others must be understanding, but the others must not be understanding. When it's your yes, it's supposed to be a yes, but the other one is always supposed to compromise. So at the end of the day, that's why we see marriages are suffering because it's like a one-way thing. It's no longer a two-way thing. So these are the things that we're dealing with every day. So let's relearn. So when you say let's come together, let's share our experiences and let's see what are the things that we need to empty ourselves from and what are the things that we need to embrace as the new truth for this generation.
Interesting. 56 minutes after the hour, 7 o'clock. Tshwane FM 93.6. That's exactly where we are. Silebo, do you want to add anything about women empowerment before I wrap this up with Mr. Rufaro? I know Giam was Ben. You want to add Giam? You just can just come next to that mic and just say
women empowerment.
Yes, women empowerment. No, it's fine. Silebo, do you want to add? You're fine.
I'll just motivate women to join cells, guys.
Yeah.
People think what we do, it's out of this world. But there's more questions that comes from young women asking us that they feel that being in the sales industry is more difficult. How do we do it? They need to join in and we need to take this far. But we'll keep on talking about such things as time goes on.
I know. 5-7 after 7 o'clock. That is Oscar speaking to us. I was just saying that, Oscar, there's just much more deeper other issues that at times we hardly talk about. Even in the first place, the idea of when you see a woman that the only way to satisfy her is sleeping with her. I remember I was raised by my uncle and he would always tease me. When I was growing up, I was not a sex person. I think that part I never had an opportunity to get the idea of having sex. And he'd always say, "But how do you know that this girlfriend loves you? She must prove to you by sleeping to you." And that stuck in my mind, and because some of these things they remain in the subconscious and you don't even know them. But I still remember that vividly. That this man said, "Nee, manasa robala loen." I wanna focus. And I know that I'm not the only one. It's just that some won't come out to actually to say no, this is how we're institutionalized. But it's all those things to say, okay, so when you see a woman, and also the conversations that we had where women would say, "Nah, Mokete is not a man enough. He can't last more than an hour in bed with me," or his size is smaller, or whatever the case may be. Then it suggests to me that, okay, so for me to prove my manhood, I must use Seleboho then, and which means Seleboho is my measurement tool to my manhood. But I know that we'll be speaking about such topics at the men's bribe. But of course, 16 days of activism, we're saying be a better man and not a better one. Oscar, before I let you go, your closing argument, my brother?
Yeah, my closing remarks will go exactly with the comment that you're giving now. And I just want to cough this out to say, to be honest, we have to relearn certain things. The aspect of sex as well, to say it proves love. Let me be honest with you, life has got certain circumstances that it can bring. So if you're going to measure your relationship based on sex, there are things that can happen in your marriage that can make you not have sex.
Sure.
So if the marriage is going to end immediately because you can engage in that activity. So that's why I'm saying we have to sit back really and get like you're saying, and that's what I was like, this is the real truth. Can love be expressed only in sex? Is it the only expression of love? I don't think so. So yeah, and then finally, we take home for all the listeners tonight is that let us not forget that the next generation is going to start from where we left.
Sure.
We cannot be bitter forever.
Yeah.
We have to make a choice and be better. We have to sit back and say, what are the mistakes that our fathers did, and how can we correct it so that when our sons and daughters come, they can be able to move and cruise in that aspect. So we have to pave way. Where the next generation ends becomes the beginning, of the next generation.
Indeed.
So we need to know that. So let's do our part. Let's know we have cried over yesterday. That's enough. Let's now make the way forward. Let's move forward. Let us become better.
Thank you so much, my brother. Have a great evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much and have a good night.
Awesomeness. It's 8 on top of the hour. Thank you so much for your listening pleasure. This is where we leave it tonight. And from me to you, I'm back again tomorrow. It is the Sports Corner. It's going to be an interesting one again. Have a great evening. Miss K is coming through on the eargasm. Ooh. It's Hababona. Great music coming through. This is the music, I believe, that made our parents to bring us to this world. Tori on this one by Oliver Mtukudzi. Good evening.
Oh, Jody, what shall we do? What shall we do?